You blew it. Forget your excuses and justifications. You did or said the wrong thing. You disrespected or dishonored someone. This relationship is important and you want to set it right. How do you apologize and restore trust and regain respect? I don't know about you. No one ever taught me the skill of apology, even though the quality of all our relationships is connected to our ability and willingness to apologize. The good news is that you can learn how to apologize. In this video, I cover 4 important parts of an apology. Understanding and applying them will help your efforts at apologizing to be the most effective. You'll also be taking important steps to build right relationships, which are necessary if you want to live a good life. I'm your mentor, Jane, and here's the 4 steps of apology that we're digging into in this video. Express regret, accept responsibility, make amends, and ask for forgiveness. So let's go. If you're perfect, you'd never need to apologize, but you're not. When you violate a person's sense of what's right, they will feel wronged. Your behavior will sit as a barrier between the two of you until you take steps to remove it. That's the purpose of an apology. So the first part of an apology is to express regret. What most people want in an apology is sincerity, and that's most commonly expressed as, "I'm sorry." The other person is listening for whether you truly regret your behavior. They want to know that you feel ashamed or guilty, that you hurt them in some way. A simple, sincere, "I'm sorry" goes a long way to convey that their experience matters to you. The more specific you are about naming the behavior that you regret, the better. For example, "I'm sorry I didn't get back to you with the information you needed for the meeting. I know that puts you in a bad spot with the team." Here's another example. "What I said was wrong, and I know I disrespected you in front of the kids. I'm very sorry." This part of apologizing acknowledges the connection between your behavior and their pain. The second part of an apology is to accept responsibility. Listen to this apology and tell me what's wrong with it. "I'm sorry, but if you weren't always late, I wouldn't have to yell at you." Saying "I was wrong" is an important part of apology and a significant sign of maturity. Why is it so hard to admit we're wrong? I think it's because we connect being wrong with being bad, as in a bad person, that something is really wrong with me. The good news is that as adults, we can separate our behavior from our personhood or identity. Gary Chapman and Jennifer Thomas wrote in the 5 languages of apology that good marriages, being a great parent or boss, aren't dependent on us being perfect. They are dependent on our willingness to acknowledge when we're wrong. I'll put a link to that great book below. Accepting responsibility in your apology sounds like this. "I'm responsible for the errors in the report. I didn't check it. I'm so sorry that embarrassed you and the team at the department head meeting." Another example. "I cut you off when you were trying to explain why you were late. I'm sorry, that was rude." After you've nailed your behavior, the third part of an apology is to offer to make amends. That means making things right or repaying the other person for damage caused by your behavior. Chapman and Thomas suggest you make amends according to the love language of the other person, and you can learn more about love languages in this video. In the meantime, what I'm suggesting is that you think about how you can repay the other person in the way that is most meaningful to them. You may love to receive flowers, but your mom thinks it's a waste of money. She'd appreciate spending time with you. So your apology to your mom may sound something like this. "Mom, I'm so sorry I embarrassed you when I criticized you in front of Aunt Monica. Could I come over and we can talk about it over coffee?" If you're not sure how to repay the person you've offended, or you've been trying several different ways and nothing seems to be working, ask the person this: "Is there anything I can do to make up for my mistake?" As long as you're sincere and willing to follow through on your offer, you've done the best you can. It's now up to the other person to forgive you or not. That leads to the fourth part of an apology, and that's to ask for forgiveness. Ow. That's almost as hard as admitting I was wrong. Why is it important to ask for forgiveness? Well, humbling yourself and asking for forgiveness seems to be the ultimate proof that you accept responsibility, that you've done something wrong, and you are genuinely sorry for it. For me, this is the toughest part of an apology, and it's also the one I hear the least when someone apologizes to me. I think the reason for that is because, well, just because you're sorry and ask for forgiveness, that doesn't mean you'll receive it. The truth is that forgiveness is in the hands of the offended, not the offender. You don't control when or if forgiveness is granted. Your behavior damaged someone. There may be lasting consequences, which aren't easy to forgive. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but an apology requires patience and acceptance that forgiveness may never come. Still, you humble yourself and ask for it like this. I'm sorry I was so inconsiderate. I was rude and unkind to treat you that way in front of your friends. What can I do to make it up to you? I love you very much. Will you forgive me? That's an example of how to apologize to restore trust and regain respect. It also includes all four parts I've been talking about. You express sincere regret for what you did, and you were as specific as you could be. You accepted responsibility. You didn't minimize, blame, or justify. You asked if you could make amends in a way that are meaningful to the other person, and you asked for forgiveness and didn't force it or press someone to give you that forgiveness. Life is all about relationship. And if you want a good life, you need to learn how to build good relationships. Sometimes you're going to blow it. In this video, I've shown you how to align your head and your heart to deliver a good apology when you do blow it. I'm on your journey to a good life with Jesus at the center. I'm your mentor, Jane. Check out these videos for more mentoring on building good relationships. Thanks for watching.